Tonight, developers finally put a date on when construction will begin at the new hydrogen plant in Port Bonython. And a night in the cold for a good cause. Port Pirie students brave winter weather to raise awareness for those experiencing homelessness.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Alex Sykes begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. A new development outside Whyalla is set to spearhead the emerging hydrogen industry in South Australia. Executives overseeing the project have started to outline a construction timeline, bringing it one step closer to fruition.
Cogs are now turning in the establishment of a $593 million state-owned hydrogen power plant near Whyalla. Sam Crafter, the Chief Executive of Hydrogen Power SA, says they are looking at a 2-year construction period to build the Port Bonython hub.
Things are happening on the ground here in regards to this hydrogen plant being built in Whyalla. So, yep, they're saying construction 2023 and commission in 2025, and that's really great news.
The project is set to include a 250 megawatt hydrogen electrolyser and a 200 megawatt combined cycle gas turbine fueled by hydrogen. The state investing into this cutting-edge technology to create hundreds of jobs and major export opportunities, with Port Bonython being a key part of the government's hydrogen jobs plan, which it took to the March state election.
It's exciting times and it's going to be great for our economy. It's going to diversify our economy on a very large scale, which is really important for our economic future moving forward for our city.
Construction will begin in the middle of 2023, with developers hard at work with planning and pre-feasibility studies until then. The City Council hosting those involved in the works last week to see how they can support the project further.
We had a visit last week from the proponents for the Hydrogen Hub, so there was people from all over Australia and overseas who came to take a look around our city, so what we've got to offer, and also to go and visit the actual site out at Port Bonython.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A new program looking to replant vegetation is coming to the Eyre Peninsula as part of the Australian Government's Emission Reduction Fund. The project aims to reward farmers for increasing biodiversity and strong carbon.
The future of farming is looking to make positive environmental impacts. 6 regions across Australia were chosen to take on a carbon and biodiversity initiative. Now, farmers across the Eyre Peninsula can reap the benefits.
Yeah, so we had some farmers sign up for an Australian government funded project around carbon and biodiversity plantings sort of this time last year, and over the next couple of weeks there's a couple of them that are now starting to do works.
The revegetation process aims to store carbon within the newly planted plants. Now the government is offering farmers financial benefits for the more carbon that they store.
Plants store carbon, so the Australian government and many other countries around the world have got programs in place that if you revegetate areas, if you sign up for what's called the Emissions Reduction Fund in Australia, you can register your site and then be paid for the carbon that revegetation stores.
3 farmers are piloting the project here on the Eyre Peninsula, residing in Elliston, Woodner and Port Lincoln.
Yeah, so we've got 3 farmers that have signed up and they should be doing all their works over the next month, everything going well. And yeah, this is a pilot study for Australia and for farmers.
The initiative not only aims to lessen the impact of climate change, but also see that farmers are compensated for their efforts. The Eyre Peninsula Landscape Board is facilitating the works.
Contractors and also doing some tube stock planting and fencing to keep stock out. And then over the future years coming, they'll then get some biodiversity payments from the Australian government and be able to sell their carbon credits or retain their carbon credits from the plantings.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie students and teachers experienced a cold and restless sleep last night. They slept outdoors to help raise much-needed funds and awareness for the most vulnerable people in our community, especially as we enter the cooler months.
Each year in South Australia, there are more than 6,000 people, including children, who have no place to call home. At the St Mark's College Sleepout, comfy beds were swapped for cardboard and a night without everyday comforts.
Lots of coldness, be a bit sore in the morning from sleeping on the floor especially.
Students felt it was important to experience a small part of the harsh realities of homelessness.
This is an important lesson for everyone to learn. Not everybody knows about the struggles of homelessness. It is a topic most people know about, but not about the in-depth of the homeless.
The event took place at the perfect time in the term, as students have been learning about social justice, the sleep out serving as a chance for them to go beyond reading and writing about the issue.
This particular night is a result of a new Year 11 curriculum where they have to look into social issues that affect people their age and also key issues that Australia faces as a whole.
Funds raised through the Sleep Out will go towards Vinnie's service in Port Pirie region, providing vital access to food, clothing and financial assistance to locals in need.
Amazing group of young people who are so compassionate, but at the same time who have got that sense of like social justice and want to stand in solidarity with our community members who are doing it tough. So it is quite amazing. It is quite amazing.
To show your support, you can register or donate to make a difference in the lives of those who don't get to make that choice. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, businesses Far West take a leaf from its own book, adding more business owners to the committee. And Port Pirie Meals on Wheels does a call out for more volunteers heading into the winter months. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News. Business Far West has been helping Broken Hill companies expand in recent months, and now they're doing the same. By recruiting more members, the organisation now has more hands on deck to help the thriving town.
What a time to be a business owner in the Silver City. The town is booming, and Business Far West are doing all they can to help others during the busy tourist season.
We're doing well. Obviously, being busy in our own businesses has hindered our progress a little bit, but we're still holding regular meetings. We've just held a debrief for the Monday, which was really well attended.
While progress may be a bit slow for the organisation, they have big plans moving forward in 2022, which will be a bonus for those running a business.
Our next stage will be to create a membership drive, and then we've got some set conferences or workshops that we've got planned.
The organisation began to help businesses when the city was going through drought and lockdown, and started with 3 founding members. They have since recruited an additional 3 business-orientated people to the committee, who are just as keen to help others.
The thought of being able to help someone else go through that, navigate that situation was what really interested me, as I guess a mentor of such.
There is a good cross-section of people on the committee, each member bringing their own expertise to help navigate any issues that pop up.
It's amazing how, even though our industries are very different, we all are facing very similar challenges with, recruitment and retaining staff.
If you'd like to be a part of Business Far West, you can check out their Facebook page for more information. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meals on Wheels is more than just a food delivery service. It's a daily check-in with our elderly community and can brighten their often lonely days. But to keep the wheels in motion, the organisation is calling on more volunteers this winter.
Growing older is a privilege, and if we're lucky enough to do so, having a hot dinner every night isn't just a creature comfort, it's a bare necessity. Enter Meals on Wheels, the food delivery service looking after older Australians for almost 70 years.
We make sure that we see the client so that we know that they're all right. If we can't find a client, the deliverers always ring me and we chase up with the family.
Assistant Coordinator at the office in Port Pirie, Jenny Regan understands the importance of this service and has a personal connection to it.
My father used to have Meals on Wheels down in Adelaide, and it was the highlight of his day when they come around to deliver the meal for him, because it was the only people that he saw and spoke to during the day.
The Port Pirie branch is described as more than a charity. It is a social event where they have a lot of fun.
You meet a lot of different people. You meet the elderly or clients of Port Pirie. If you deliver, the kitchen, well, they're all friends.
The delivery drivers and kitchen staff are aged in their 80s. And in order to keep the organisation going, they need younger people to put their hands up to help, whether it's during school holidays or every other weekend.
Without the volunteers, Meals on Wheels wouldn't be here.
For more information about the service and how you can help, contact the local team on Facebook or on their website. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Stopping food wastage in its tracks, the Broken Hill businesses taking part in a food preservation program. And through the Looking Glass, a world-class tourism experience comes to Whyalla. Welcome back. Broken Hill's Salvation Army and Seventh-day Adventist Church are coming together this winter to help those in need. It's through a service called Second Bite, which sources food from shops and other places, ensuring nothing goes to waste.
Making sure the community has food on the table, while nothing gets thrown in the bin. The Salvation Army helping those in need this winter.
We have picking up bread and also all sort of things that they were donated to us, and it is a food donation, and people who need support with the food, they can welcome to pick up the food from us.
The organisation sources food from many different places. Coles and other bakeries in Broken Hill donate bread, while the veggies are supplied by Food Bank South Australia. But they aren't the only things being donated.
Sometimes, occasionally, 1 or 2 packs of meat, and sometimes non-nutritional food like chips packets and all sort of things.
Salvos also accept other items for people in need, especially as we roll into the colder months.
And help them like with a food parcel. But also like personal items like toiletries and so forth. Yeah. It can be very helpful for people on tight budgets.
Other organisations such as Mission Australia come along to Second Bite for their clients, making sure those who are unable to get there are still supplied with what they need. You can also help out by heading to the Salvation Army on Wolfram Street.
They can, or they can
give us a call.
Ring the reception number here and leave a message, and we can get back to them.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Business is booming for Whyalla's newest tourist attraction. The Glass Bottom boat is now operating from Cuttlefish Drive at Point Lowly, with tourists travelling far and wide to get aboard.
A portal to an underwater world. Cuddy's Tours have brought the Glass Bottom boat experience to Whyalla, giving tourists another way to admire our world-renowned giant cuttlefish. Owner Matt Waller says after leaving Port Lincoln's Adventure Bay charters, he jumped at the opportunity to set up a tour at Point Lowly, saying the area's natural beauty and unique ecosystem are major drawcards for local and international tourists.
In such pristine conditions, it is really a world-class attraction. So the fact that it's dragging people from all over Australia is no surprise. And in the next month or so, we'll start to see international travellers hopefully returning to Australia and making this a destination and bringing them to Whyalla.
Matt says snorkeling with the cuttlefish is a great experience, but not everybody can see themselves squeezing into a wetsuit and diving into the freezing cold water to see them, saying the Glass Bottom boat tour allows people of different abilities to stay warm and dry and experience one of nature's greatest spectacles.
But we're here for those people that sort of level of access is not what they want. Or someone in their family wants to do it, but rather than sit in the car on their iPad, we can get out.
The 45-minute tours allow plenty of time to track down the cuttlefish, which are usually close by. Guides using the tour as a great opportunity to educate guests on these strange but colourful creatures.
We started this business with nothing. We came up with the idea 3 months ago. We're 3 weeks into our first tours, and the early indications is that we'll achieve our goals. And if we're successful in that, it's a big contribution to the Whyalla economy.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. The best of the best gather in Port Lincoln ahead of the Mortlock Shield. And we'll have the weekend weather details with Ruby Cairns. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News. The footy scene is looking a little different this weekend with no local games in Broken Hill and the Mortlock Shield going ahead in Port Lincoln. But there's a few other games taking place. Here's this week's footy tips.
Welcome to Whyalla Football, and it's combined football here in Whyalla this weekend. The Whyalla Football League versus the Spencer Golf Football League. Recent history tells us Spencer Golf Football League always wins this game minus a few, and they normally win them very easily, as they did last year in Port Pirie. Whyalla's got a new coach though. Local goal kicking legend Scott Collison takes over the reins, and he's got a host of talent available to him this weekend. Guys like the McNamara brothers, Crompton, recruit from Rapina, Clayton Maziki, Collingworth Hughes, a recent male medal winner, and especially a guy like Stevie Jackson from Marina Bay, who's also won a local male medal, and he's an excellent kicker of the football. Spencer Golf often keep their teams very close to their chest. They'll bring over something very good, as they normally do, but I think the tide's going to turn in favour of Whyalla this year. Junior games will be on beforehand, so lots of people arriving in Whyalla this weekend, but the big game starts at 2 o'clock, Saturday at Bennett Oval, Whyalla Football League versus the Spencer Golf Football League.
It's the longest running country football carnival in Australia, and it is back taking centre field in Port Lincoln. The Mortlock Shield will see 5 teams compete over the long weekend, each made up of the region's best players.
It's the best taking on the best. This year's annual Mortlock Shield is up for grabs and is set to be a draw card for the region.
It's going to be very exciting. It's always great, not just for the football, but also the social side of it and the networking, etc. And everyone gets a chance to come down, catch up, see what's happening in other leagues.
The 5 teams consist of Lincoln City, Lincoln Districts, Eastern Air, Western Air and the Great Flinders. Lincoln City coach is happy with how the squad is approaching their footy ahead of Saturday.
But we had great numbers. We had really good numbers out Tuesday night, Thursday night. We actually had to leave a few guys out of the squad, which hadn't happened in the last couple of years. And we'll be young, quick, enthusiastic.
Lincoln City sporting a younger side this year, giving the new talent a run on the big stage.
We're finding these young fellas are real keen to pull on the Lincoln City jumper, so that's been our path for a while. We'll play these young kids, give them a bit of a look at it.
Under 15s players will also be getting their moment in the spotlight as they compete for the Norwood Cup on Sunday.
We're seeing the best of Eyre Peninsula football here, and as you know, Eyre Peninsula has had so many boys drafted and done so well at the AFL level.
Players will have extra incentive this year, with the grand final to be played on Monday afternoon.
No, I think everyone loves playing in the grand final, and obviously in this there's plenty on the end of it. You've got a carnival that's been going since 1938, and the history of it, longest running country football carnival in Australia.
Kicking the carnival off will be a women's game starting at 9:45 on Saturday, with tickets available to be purchased online.
For Saturday and Monday, we would really love you to try and go online to get your tickets. We will have EFTPOS machines at the gates on Saturday and Monday.
A long weekend full of footy you wouldn't want to miss.
Hopefully the weather's half decent and there's a bloody good crowd there, and I think it's going to be another really good carnival.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Lots of footy to look forward to indeed. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Ruby Cairns. Ruby, how cold did it get during the Vinnies sleep out in Port Pirie last night?
Good evening to you and our viewers, Alex. Well, let's just say it could have been colder. Students and teachers who've slept outside would have experienced temps in the double digits. For most of the night, the coldest feels-like temperature coming in at 7.8 degrees around 8:30. A big well done to all those who participated. Taking a look at today's temperatures now. Broken Hill was cloudy and reached 13. There were showers in Port Pirie with a top of 15, and Coober Pedy was partly cloudy and 14 degrees. To the rest of the region now, Port Augusta and Whyalla were both partly cloudy and 16. Port Lincoln reached 15. Kadina had a few showers with 14, and it was cloudy in Woodner with 16, the top there. Taking a look at the satellite image now, there was a cold southwest to southerly airstream with embedded weak troughs over South Australia. A high pressure ridge will move slowly across the west this evening, then extend eastwards over the weekend to be over Victoria by Monday. A low pressure trough will move over the far west on Monday, then over remaining parts on Tuesday and early Wednesday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds will be southwest to southeasterly 10 to 15 knots, easing to around 10 knots late morning. Seas below a metre. South to southwesterly swells below 1 metre as well. Port Lincoln, possible showers and 17 degrees between 7 and 15 for Cleve. Partly cloudy in Woodner, 17. A shower 2 and 15 in Whyalla, partly cloudy in Port Augusta, 17. Kadina is set to reach 16 degrees. Possible showers for Port Pirie, 17 degrees, just 13 degrees in Clare and Broken Hill. Taking a look at Sunday's forecast now, cloudy over Port Augusta, 16 degrees. 15 the top in Whyalla, possible showers in Clare between 4 and 16 degrees. Moving on to Monday now, there'll be a bit more sunshine in Port Pirie, but some cloud coverage as well. 16 degrees, 17 the top in Port Lincoln for the grand final of the Mortlake Shield. Showers expected later in the evening. Between 4 degrees and 14 in Broken Hill on Tuesday, possible showers, and 17 for the capital. That's all the weather from me tonight. I hope you and our viewers have a great long weekend. It's back to you, Alex.
Thanks for that, Ruby. You enjoy your weekend as well. And that's the local news this Friday. I'm Alex Sykes. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.